Yeah, it's bright and early. I'm still on the road, and we are headed to Destination 2 because the LTR 450 is gone. So let's pick up the second item and get moving. All right, everyone, so here we go. We're actually making our way back on the drive. So we had the LTR 450 back there. I don't know if you can see what's back there now, but we got that officially taken care of. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my ears to pop. We got that officially sold on the way down the road. So long story short, what was happening was Saturday was going to be my travel day to go pick up a new project. So I start getting plans to go pick up the new project, which is about 3 hours away, and I'm in West Virginia, and I end up having to go out to Parkersburg, West Virginia area to get it. But in order to do that, the route that I take, I come through Clarksburg. Well, lo and behold, there was a guy in Clarksburg who messaged me, and he was going to come down Saturday, which is today, and pick up the 450. And didn't want to negotiate the price, thought I had it at a great number, thought it looked good in the pictures. He basically was just going to come down, and we talked a little bit, and getting to know him a little, he told me that he was a UPS driver and he didn't want to make the long trip, but he's okay with doing that because he drives, 8 hours a day or shifts, 12 hours a day. So I told him that I was actually coming through that way and I can meet him, but it had to be at like 7 in the morning in order to show him the LTR. Then you run into a couple things. I planned on picking up this project with just my truck. And if I put the LTR in the back of the truck and brought it down and he didn't want it for some reason, or if you get there and people try to nickel and dime you, then all of a sudden I don't have to wait to get my original project home. So I brought the trailer, which is a tractor supply trailer that I got. I can't remember the exact price, but it's a 5,000 pound carry weight, tandem axle, brakes. So we went ahead and hooked it up, drove down there, and he drove it around in Staples parking lot and took it with no questions, no negotiation on the price. 5 minutes in and out. So we have just left Parkersburg and got the second project back there, and once we stop to get gas, which I'm going to need before I can get home, I'm wanting to say I'm probably 2 hours, maybe 2 hours and 10 minutes from home. So I'm going to stop, see what I can get me to eat this early in the morning at 9:30. I mean, I don't know what time Little Caesars opens up, but for me, on any time on the road, eating pizza is a good time on the road. So we're going to figure out what we're going to do. I'm going to take a little bit of footage of it, and we're going to get it home. We're walking towards it. So what do we got? Another Raptor 250. So I found this out in Parkersburg. It does look a little rough. I'm sorry, I'm walking and I'm zoomed in. It does look a little rough, but not horrible. Definitely something that I can do some work with. And we're gonna see if we can get this turned around, but we're gonna get a closer view of it here once I get home. All right, so here we are, Raptor 250, looking good-ish. So from what I'm looking at right here, there's a couple things that I am going to take care of and I'm going to replace. We are going to get new back tires put on this thing. I'm thinking I'm probably going to take the tires off the 250 over there and possibly front and rear. Look like these are 20s in the front and 19s in the rear. We're going to see what the other one has on it. Going to clean it up really good. Doesn't look like really anything too bad. Frame just has a little bit of rubbing right here, which is no problem, but overall it looks like it's mechanically sound. We're going to give it a nice good clean. The good thing about having two of these machines is that you can kind of swap parts between the two and figure out what's going on. Underneath here, I do see the battery box cracked. That's kind of a common thing if you don't secure your battery in. So we're going to look at a new one of those. Going to have to straighten these mounts up, get a new rear bumper. Overall, it's not too horrible. I was about to start pressure washing, but then I decided, nope. Get the camera on, see what's going on, and take a look at it. Guy said he lost it, kind of lost spark, had an issue with it, but I have an idea of what it's going to be, but I'm going to figure that out here in a little bit. let's get the pressure washer hooked up, get some foam on this thing, and then get it sprayed off. Alright, so here is the Raptor 250. It has been pressure washed, so it looks a lot better. I mean, it doesn't look brand new. I've never said it was going to look brand new, but it does look a lot better when I got a whole bunch of the mud off. So the tires I'm thinking about putting on there are going to be these. These are ones off of my son's Raptor 250. So these are 21s, and I think the rears are 20s. Plenty of life, plenty of meat left on them. They actually came from the Raptor 125, but we went with 19s in the front, 18s in the rear, which is the same thing we're going to do with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put those tires on the other machine at some point. That's going to be like one of the last things we really worry about. Yeah, that's going to be pretty much one of the last things we really worry about. So what we need to do is figure out what's going on with this. It's always a basket case. You never know what is really going on with it. I do have spark. I've already tried that, but we're going to check it out. Everything, all these machines have the same fundamentals: fuel, spark, compression. If you don't have one of those, it's not going to start. So I do have spark, so that's off the map. We're good. So that means we have a battery, we have everything else, so that's great. No electronic issues. So either my rings are not good or I'm not getting fuel. So we're going to test those theories out and see where it takes us. Oh yeah, it could actually be more than just rings or valves, one of those two things. If valve's leaking, you're not going to have compression. If your rings are bad, you will not have compression either. But there's two little tricks that you can do to figure out which one you're working with. All right, so we have it here. What we're going to go ahead and do is get the seat off of it, get the front plastics off so we can just dig around the front and figure out what's going on. And the rear plastics aren't really a whole bunch, but once I got there, the guy had already had the plastics off in the front, so it's not much holding these on, so it should be real easy and real quick to get these off. Seat comes off first, and there's some mess in there. He said that his son rode it without an air box. Well, without an air filter. Why? I don't know. So I probably am. I'm going to take the head off just to inspect the rings and everything, make sure he didn't suck up too much dirt in there and the gunk in there. But we're going to figure that out as we go. But let's one step at a time. This I just placed on there, so it's sitting there. The front plastics I put on there just hand tight when I was there at his house. What interests me with this was, this is the most stock machine I've ever seen. I mean, it still has the park brake on it. Nothing's upgraded. It's just got different tires on it. Everything else is still here and functional. Sandwich baggies will be your friend for these. All the front end bolts are in here, sitting in that back area. All right, front plastic's off. No need to really wait on it. Let's get the plastic stripped off of this. All right, we got all the plastics off. Looks like it's gonna be a good time to get the water hose out again. It puts the lotion on its skin before it gets the hose again. So we got it hosed off. That is pretty decent. We're going to figure out what we're going to be into. I'm not really excited yet. So I'm thinking that, you know, with the air box, the air filter not being there, it's just not going to be a good idea. I mean, it's just not going to be a good idea. So I know the carb is going to definitely need a good clean. And we're just going to see what's bypassed the carb and got into the motor. So, yeah, we'll figure it. So we're going to start disassembling it. We're going to go ahead and get the gas tank off and see what we're working with. I know this air box is going to have to come off because it's broken down there, and we're going to work on that as well. But as I stated, first things first. To 10 millimeters. We'll make sure the fuel is shut off. It's on off. Gas tank is off. We're going to go ahead and get this little drain out right here. So I don't know if you can see this drain, but so this is just like a under the tank drain. I guess it keeps stuff from falling directly on top of the motor. Unfortunately, these get clogged up all the freaking time. Every one I've seen has been completely clogged. And when I say have seen, I've had about 3 or 4 of these machines, or 3 of them. I definitely do not think it's something that the world will fall apart if you don't put it back on. All right, as I stated, I already know we have spark in it, and we have the air box off. I don't know if it's getting fuel or not, but I'm going to hit it with some starting fluid and see if it'll even fire from me. Doesn't like it's got much compression. All right, everyone. So here we are. Man, I have so many different projects. It's kind of hard to know what I'm about to say. So the Raptor 250 is sitting out here behind us, and we have gotten a good bit of work done to it. So this is day number 1. It's come home, and what we're dealing with here is we've taken the airbox off, which I'm going to either probably replace, and we took the head off to see what was causing my issues with having no compression. Now, off camera, I did check to make sure I had spark. That was all great. And I sprayed some starting fluid in the back, which you all saw, and that didn't do anything. I didn't get no pop, no thud, no nothing. The battery was kind of dead, but it still just gave me an indication of what was going on. I knew I wanted to take the top off just because I wanted to check the motor out because they ran this with no filter in it. I don't know why. So I'm hoping that it wasn't, I was hoping that it wasn't too bad in there, but I'm just going to let you all take a look to see what I see and make sure we're all on the same page moving forward with this. So here we are, looking good, but the piston in here is fine. There's no real play or anything in it. I'm going to actually spin it over with the crank. Let me actually do that. So this is a larger problem. So we're going to go ahead and see. Hold my chain up, spin my crank. And as you see, chain spinning. Now, you know, it'll move that way. So we're going to take this off and see how far down this damage goes. The connecting rod and the piston are not together. The crank and the piston, they're not together. So hopefully I don't have to put a new crank in it, but I might. And we're just going to see where this is going to go. So this is the face you have when you've wasted your whole day and you kind of feel a little ripped off. But my hands are able to get dirty, and I'm not scared of a project. So my turnaround is going to be a little less than what I thought it was going to be, which is okay. We have the Raptor 250 home. I went ahead and started digging in it. So this is what it's going to need now. So I have another OEM piston. It doesn't need that. The sleeve, the pins, or clips, it doesn't need those. I do need to get new rings for it. So I'm going to get new rings. I need to get an exhaust valve. I already have another intake valve. I'll probably just lap 2 new valves into it. The carburetor is going to get cleaned, so I'm not really worried about it or any jetting or anything like that, because I'm just going to soak it and then blow through them and then just, reuse all that stuff. So that should be fine, unless it's crazy gummed up and I can't get it clear, which I find it hard to, for the most part, I'm able to get those cleared out and well. A new air box. I think new rear brake. And that's about it. A cylinder. I have to get a 250 cylinder. That's where it's going to be a little expensive, I would think. I'm going to look and see if I can find one used off of eBay. But because of all this and the way everything happened, as you saw from the video, the motor is going to come completely out. I'm going to have to split the cases. I'm just not comfortable with that stuff floating around in the motor. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to have to split them for the most part now. I don't know if there's anything else I can do to make sure I get everything out. So, yeah. Stay tuned in the next video. I'm not down. I'm just going to get in here and get the order and see what my parts list is going to cost me. And then once I get those parts and get this ordered, hopefully I can be able to get this Raptor 250 flipped around and then back out of here and then get something else going. And as you all seen from the other videos, we still do have the hybrid still sitting there. And we have the 478 big bore. The head's out getting port work done. And we'll figure it all out when it comes back. Thank you for checking out this video. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe.